is Dahlia Sin. Beautiful doll. But is she stupid? Possibly. Her psychological evaluation says she seemed to be impulsive, judgmental, self-centered, and prone to anger. The perfect villain. Cast her. Yes, Rue. Yes, immediately. Rue, we have a problem with Dahlia. Who? Dahlia Sin. Who? The villain! Oh, yes. What's the problem with the villain? She's behaving like America's sweetheart. That little bitch. Throw her out. Throw her out now. But, Rue. Out, I say. Yes, Rue. Yes, as you wish. Who was supposed to be eliminated this episode? Aiden. Who? Aiden Zane. Who? The bedroom queen. Who? Oh, for God's sake. The one with only one wig. Oh dear. Well, switch them up. We can make her look like a victim. Audiences love that. Yes, Rue, we'll switch them up. Good. Also, call my husband. We have to lease some more land for Well, that's none of your business, darling. Yes, but, Rue, there's no villain this season. Don't we have anybody else? Well, there's something going on with Britta and Widow. Ooh? Oh, never mind. Are they white? No. Perfect. Now get me my pocketbook. I'm leaving. How do you create the perfect villain? Well, I'm glad you asked. Like with any good recipe, you need to start with the best ingredients. Can I have some background music, please? Intern? Oh, perfect. First, you need to cast someone who's very outspoken, impulsive, angry, self-centered, and entitled. Any of those qualities can make the job nicely with the right amount of editing magic. But get them all, and you've hit villain jackpot. Your villain will also need to be of non-Caucasian descent because, don't forget, reinforcing stereotypes is what reality TV is really about. And let's begin. Step 1. Pressure cook your villain. 15 hours of filming a day will already put your prospective villain in the right mood, but some will still need a little push to come out in full force. Convince some other queens to upset her in some way, or give her bad critiques when she did a good job. Even better, find someone your villain has issues with, and then reward that someone for doing an awful job. That will stir up some good old competitive spirit in your villain. Step 2. Reward the villain. If your villain behaved the way she was supposed to, reward her. This will make your villain feel more comfortable in her skin. And don't forget, a rewarded villain is a prolific villain. Step 3. Add a pinch of editing magic. No matter how good of a job you do with your villain, some good old editing magic will tie your storyline nicely and make for great reality television. Remember that editing magic works best when paired with good production value. Make sure your villain eliminates queens who receive a very positive edit. That will put the final shine on your villain. Step 4. Rinse and repeat. And that's how you create the perfect villain. Piece of cake, right?
It's a piece of cake to bake.
No! That's another video. Oh God, I gotta fire that intern. Welcome to the Chop. We had a little bit of a crazy couple of weeks at end, and we didn't have much time to prepare a longer show and discuss the last 3 episodes in detail. We still have no idea where we are really going with this show, so expect radical changes while we find out something that's both satisfying for us to do and entertaining for you to watch. And with that said, finally we have a villain. But before we get into that, I want you to take a look at last stream, because it seems like we finally got some answers to our questions. Now the problem with Rock is that she has this storyline when she did during her premiere that basically started and closed inside the same episode. And then I thought, what the hell is that? How are they doing this? Who is writing this? Who is following behind the scene this show? You don't have a queen start a storyline in one episode and end in the same episode unless you want to eliminate them. And that's what you do. When your storyline closes, you have to go home. This is reality TV. This is not real life. Come on. But Rock is still here. So I have no idea what's going on with Rock. It could be bad management. It could be. Or maybe there is something coming out for her. And there you go. Take a sweet queen and then give her a ton of positive confessionals so that the audience develops a positive attachment to her. Once you've established the queen as sweet and relatable, let your prospective villain eliminate her. The sweeter the character is, the harsher the perception of whoever eliminates her will be. It's just a game of misperception by comparison. Who eliminated Rock again? Oh yes, Britta, the villain. Something similar is going on with Aiden, but on a whole different level. A lot of time is allocated for confessionals of Queen questioning Aiden's choices and abilities, especially Britta, the villain. Even Jen, the narrator of the season, is sacrificed to put a remark on Aiden.
I'm most worried for Aiden. It's a two-colored corset with a couple of droopy balls.
All those critics are valid and on point, but they are framed as negative remarks, and that makes Aiden look like a victim. In addition, the judges seem to love Aiden, and since the judges are perceived by the audience as an authoritative voice, puts the final nail in the coffin, solidifying Aiden's victim status. Now that we have a victim, let's oppose that to a queen expressing her concerns.
So last night, while I'm struggling to finish this dress, Aiden is over here in the corner taking a nap. She took the least amount of time on her look and she was on the couch, sleeping. Aiden isn't working hard enough.
Et voila. Our villain is even more villainous. The only thing that we're missing is Britta sending Aiden home. Mark my words on that, because it is going to happen. Who do you think will perform poorly this episode? I don't know about poorly, but I'm most worried about Aiden.
She took the least amount of time on her look and she was
confident that what she came up with would be good enough for the challenge. But that look is way too basic, and based on that, the judges are going to believe that
Aiden isn't working hard enough.
You think she's not working hard enough? It is not up to me to judge that. Okay. Can you tell me what happened between you and Gigi yesterday night?
So last night, while I'm struggling to finish this dress,
Gigi came along and offered to help me with the stitching. I was so grateful, especially because why didn't you ask Aiden for help? She was finished with her look, right? Aiden was
on the couch, sleeping.
And I didn't think it was appropriate to wait. Let me see if I understood. You're in the workroom and you thought that Aiden was not good enough to help you, isn't it? No. I'm in the workroom, everyone is stressing out to finish their dresses, and
Aiden is over here in the corner taking a nap.
And you tell me I should have woke her up to ask for help? Okay, that's good enough. Thank you for your time, Britta. Now, a word on Aiden. Aiden is clearly unprepared for the race, and that's okay because from our perspective, we don't judge people by the amount of money that they can spend on garments or the amount of experience they matured over the years. Our focus is on personality and raw talent. The problem is, Aiden is portrayed by the editors as having severe lack of both. I think they could have done a much better job with their edit to justify their continuing presence in the competition, but it seems like the production didn't feel like investing too much into the character, and that's understandable. Like it or not, Aiden is still on the race for one reason and one reason only: making Britta look even more villainous when she eventually sends her home. Aiden will be a great competitor one day, but not today. There's a lot of room for improvement, and we wish her the best in developing her drag career. And now, it's award season and someone will receive the Fifi award, whether they like it or not.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Bullshit. That's bullshit.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
That's
Bullshit
a joke.
every fucking time!
I was being realistic.
Realistic with bullshit.
Girl, bullshit. You are a fucking liar.
This week's Fifi award goes to Aiden Zane for saying this.
Tell us what your scene's like.
Well, isn't that the question?
Do you have the answer?
Atlanta, it's not very diverse, I guess. You know, I wish there was more room for just crazy.
Now here's the point. Atlanta's drag scene is very diverse. Think about queens like Nicole Paige Brooks or Bitch Pudding, Abora, Mariah, Violet. That's just to name a few, and I can assure you, even though I'm not from there, Atlanta surely looks like a very diverse drag community. I think Aiden should understand one thing. There's nothing wrong with being a bedroom queen, and last time I checked, it was not even a derogatory term. You don't need to find excuses and feed us some good old bullshit. You're a bedroom queen with limited resources and experiences. Say it clear, and people will focus on your growth rather than criticizing your drag for paling in comparison to more seasoned queens. And with that said, let's move on to some speculation. We do speculations every week, either on the chop or on livestream. So if you're interested in that, just turn on the notification and we'll keep you updated. If you don't want any possible spoilers, this is the moment where you should stop the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. For those of you who didn't watch the streams, I'll give you a brief update. After the second premiere aired, we ended up with this chart. Since no obvious villain were established during the second premiere, we speculated that either Widow, Britta or Jackie would take the spot as the villain, and we changed the elimination prediction to Rock or Dahlia. The reasons were because Rock ended up a storyline in episode 2, and Dahlia was expected to be a villain, but she gave the editors absolutely nothing to work with. Please note that after the 2 premieres, there were only 4 queens without negative confessionals: Gigi, Nikki, Crystal, and Dahlia. After episode 3, we ended up with this chart. We got a good prediction because Dahlia was eliminated. Note that in this episode, Britta is established as a villain, and Nikki's position is already being compromised by lots of negative confessionals. Gigi and Crystal are the only queens without any negative confessionals at this point. Jen was also established as the first main narrator for the season. Our elimination prediction was either Nikki or Aiden. Nikki because she was established as the main competitor against Gigi, who has a hero headed. And we speculated that the show wouldn't allow any direct comparison that could potentially outshine the hero they chose for the season. Aiden was shown as very unprepared, and we speculated that they would send her home because of that. But as you've seen, the producers had other plans for Aiden. And this is the chart for the latest episode. Rock went home, but not before towering everybody else again with their confessional time. I'm convinced that the producers wanted to be really sure that we develop a sense of intimacy and attachment to her, so that we can develop then a resentment towards Britta for sending her home. Gigi and Crystal remain the only queens without any negative confessionals, and that settles the matter once and for all. Gigi is the hero of the season, and she will surely reach the top. And the editors are still holding back on Crystal, so expect to see her shine pretty soon. Britta was established as the villain during the previous episode, and her trend continues with the most negative confessionals of everyone else. She just eliminated Rock, the sweet queen of the season, and her villain edit is on the rise. She surely won't be going home next episode, and expect her to be around long enough to send Aiden, the victim of the season, home. Jada was also established as a frontrunner since the beginning, and the negative confessionals she had in this episode were only remarks on Aiden's dress. Those confessionals served the purpose of establishing Aiden as a victim and in no way impaired Jada's position as a frontrunner. The same is valid for Jen, the narrator of the season. She's clearly not going home soon. Moving on to Aiden. She's been established as the victim in the last 2 episodes, and the storyline might be coming to an end very soon, as the judges are already reaching out so much to justify not putting her in the bottom. She's our first nomination for being eliminated in episode 5. Heidi is the underdog of the season, and she's only just started to shine. I don't think there's any chance she's going home next episode. Nikki continues her trend of falling in the background. On the main stage she was praised a lot, but she didn't win, and that, in my opinion, seals her fate. She's been established long ago as the hero's main competitor and must be eliminated soon. Competition is part of a hero edit, but direct comparisons are not, especially if they run the risk of outshining the hero. For this reason, she's our second candidate to be eliminated next episode. And last, Jackie and Widow. They were established in episode 1 with Britta as the only possible candidates for a villain edit, especially Widow. They had almost no confessional time this episode. None of them seems to be a good candidate to go home next episode. So, our final prediction is either Nikki or Aiden, with Aiden being eliminated in a lip sync against Britta, the villain. Next week we'll probably do prediction only during the livestream, and the next episode of The Chop will probably come out in a couple weeks, best case scenario. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.